Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your patience. Just had some small technical difficulties there. Welcome to our Rich Text Editor for Posts webinar. So our recent release has meant that we can now do more with our posts. So this is on both the app and the web-based version of Playground. And it's going to really enhance the content that you are sharing with your families. So a quick look at what changes have been made. So I'll take you into Playground after we've been through just an overview of these changes. But what's changed now is we now have, as you can see outlined in that little red box there, is the ability to edit, alter, and adjust the text to kind of fit our style, which is exciting. It's going to make things really pop. They're going to look much more aesthetically pleasing, and you can even brand them according to your center as well. So if you have a look at the zoom in there, we've got undo and redo buttons, all the usual bold, italics, underlines, strike throughs. We can change the font, we can change the size, the color, bullet points or dot points, lists, emojis as well. So it's really exciting. It's going to look really, really good. As we go along, please feel free to pop any questions that you might have in that Q&A box. Should be at the top of the screen, and then I can jump in to Playground at the end and we can answer some of those. So it's going to be the same for the web-based version and the app-based version of posts. They both work exactly the same layout and everything. So you'll see that bar at the top there. So as you can see, undo and redo. So if you make a mistake, you've got those two little arrows there that you can click on if you've if you've accidentally deleted something or you need to re-put something in there. You can also do this with your keyboard shortcuts. So you're holding down Control Z to undo is also a good way, but now you've got these buttons as well. So it just means that you've got that insurance there if you make a mistake. So we've also got our formatting and alignment. So you can now add in your bolds, italics, underlines, and strike throughs. I often find your strike throughs are, if you want to add a little bit of humor into your post, those strike throughs can be a bit of fun to use. And you can also align your text. So you can have it to the left, centered, right, or you can have it all nice and neat in one block in the middle. Or justify as it's called. And then we also have font and size. And font's a big one. I know a lot of it, whether we kind of admit it or not, I feel like everyone kind of has a little bit of a preference for a certain font that they like. For me, 14-year-old me was really big into Copperplate Gothic. I'm not sure, or Copperplate Gothic Bold. I can't remember which one it was, but very dramatic. Or if you're an Arial person, or even if you're still sort of used to writing up those assignments at uni, your Times New Roman will be there as well. And you can change your font size. So you can make it really big or you can make it smaller. And this is really going to help you create headings if you use that in conjunction with your bold and italics tools as well. We've also got color and highlight. So you can change the color of your text. And you can also add a highlight behind the text as well. So you've got some preset colors there, or you can pick, if you click on your little palette there, you'll be able to slide through that color picker and choose your own. And we'll go into a little bit more detail when I jump into Playground in a moment. We've also got our lists, which everybody, for a post, lists, your dot points, your numbers, really, really handy if you're trying to break down some information for families. Like if you've got some requirements for an excursion coming up or, a list of things that the children might need to pack for a certain day, just having those in dot point or list form can go a long way to kind of making it easier to read for families. And of course, we have our emojis. Everybody loves an emoji. We've got full access to those. So you're not sort of having to type in, your brackets and your colons to make a little smiley face. You can just jump into your emojis and pick one from there. I think most devices will now read emojis just fine. So that's going to be a really nice one to have as well. Just makes it a bit more personal for families. So previously, I'm just looking at this comparison that we have here. So this is what posts used to look like on the left. So um, if you were using, a Mac or if you're on the iPad, you could put in an emoji. But this was kind of it. You had your title, and even though you could create paragraphs with spaces and that sort of thing, um, it was just the one font, the one size, and even though it was readable, it's not all that exciting. Now, as you can see here on the right-hand side, we've got, our underlines. We've got different colors. We've got bold. You can see there the italics and different fonts, different sizes. And it's going to be a lot easier to get those emojis in there as well. It's just going to be a lot more fun and engaging for families to read. So, and you're going to be able to brand it as well. So, you might have a specific style as an educator or a teacher, or maybe your service has, a set sort of style guide. So certain colors that you use for your newsletters and that sort of thing, you can now incorporate those into your posts. So we can see here, this is how it's been edited. So the use of our bold, italics, underline, and strike through here. We've used color. We've used highlights. There's that highlight there in final term of the year. We've got the size, the font. You've got your little plus and minus buttons there for the size too. The alignment and some breaks as well. So it's going to look a lot nicer. And this is what it's going to look like in home. So just keeping in mind when you are creating something for home, think about it in terms of that darker background. And even though it's so tempting to just go all out with all the different colors and that sort of thing, we still want it to be nice and easy to read for families. So this is a picture of sort of what it's going to look like in home for families when they read it. Okay, so I'm going to switch this over into Playground now so you can see me using it live. Don't forget, if you've got any questions, you can pop them in the Q&A there as we go along. All right, so you should see my screen as I'm moving into posts here. So this is the view from Playground Web, and I'm just going to click on New Post. And you can see just up the top there, our rich text editor. So I'm going to make a post about playing in the garden. All right, so if we just pop some text in there. We love capitals for emphasis. And we also love a good typo when you're in front of everybody. So you'll type it in as normal, as you normally would. And then I'm the kind of person that will go back in and edit it afterwards. So I'm just going to advertise my sandcastle day. All right, so I'm going to change everything to I'm going to use my little drop down there. Got a sense of humor. You can use a Comic Sans. I like Verdana. That's my favorite font. That's actually the font that we use in the Xplor knowledge base. If you've popped on there and had a look before, Verdana is the font that we use. And I'm going to bold this one. So I'm going to use my little bold up here. And then, I've got italics there. But if I don't want that, I can use my little back button or redo. So you can see that italics, undo, no italics. Create that bold as well. And then I'm going to turn this color, change the color of it here. So text color, usually black, click on the drop down. I'm going to make it orange for a bit of fun. And I'm going to emphasize this one here, making castles. So I'm going to highlight that with yellow. And I might actually turn that font orange as well. And because I really want to emphasize that, I'm going to put a little emoji in as well. So my favorite emoji is, let's see if I can find it quickly. You can search for them too if you need to. I've got the sparkle one. That might just be an iOS one. I'm using a Windows at the moment. But let's do... There we go, little castle. This can look very cute. So you can scroll through, have your pick of emojis, find something that you think is really cute, pop it in there. Got a lot of options. Oh, there are my sparkles. There they are there. And I'm going to unhighlight that bit. There we go, making castles. We'll be having a sandcastle day. I'm going to emphasize that one. Actually, I might make it a little bit bigger. I can make it, actually, I'm going to make that big too. If you want to go really wild, you can, I think you can actually get pretty, yeah, you can make it huge. I don't think I'm going to go quite that big. All right, so for argument's sake, we're just going to say that the center that I'm working at doesn't have any supplies and we need to bring our own miniature shovels. And see if I hit enter, it's in that text or that bullet point format now. Buckets. And castle building tools. You can do all sorts of, this is just to demonstrate the list, but you get the idea. It's just going to make things a lot easier to read for families and emphasize where you need to emphasize, because we know families are busy and they don't always, have the time to kind of read every message in a lot of detail. So if there's something you really want to emphasize, go ahead, bold it, put some color on it, make it really loud. We're seeing it all there. Little seeds. Now, if your center has branding, what you can do is, so I showed you how we can change that color there. If I click on my drop down next to it, we've got that little custom color. So you can pick it from here. But if you really want to get super fancy and super clever with it, this little code here, you can put in what's called a hex code. And a hex code is a specific code that is associated with a very specific color, and they're universal. So anywhere on the internet, if you see some colored text, it has a hex code. So if you wanted to brand these posts according to your center, or if there's just a color that you really like, you can always ask your web developer or your IT person for the hex codes that your centre uses on the website or in your newsletters, that kind of thing. And once you have that hex code, you can pop it in here. And when you copy and paste that in, it's going to change the colour. If I go up, when you change those numbers, it changes the colour. There we go. So yeah, you can post those in there if you're looking to brand specifically to your centre. So just ask your web developer for those. Okay. I want to put a strike through. Now, I'm actually curious to see if anyone knows this reference that I'm about to put in here. Best wishes. Almost regards. If you get that reference, please post in the Q&A. It's a very funny, it's a reference from a funny show, very wholesome show. If anyone knows it, it's a little obscure. All right. So that is your rich text editor for posts. Go and have a play around with it. Have a heap of fun. It's really nice to use. It's good to kind of have a bit of a change up where you can emphasize certain things that might be more important in a post for whatever reason, and just for making it more eye-catching for families. So if you have any questions about it, we do still have 10 minutes left in the webinar. Please post them. Let me know. Put it in the Q&A, and that way everyone can see me answer any questions you might have. Give it a few minutes, see if anyone's got anything. Just got a question there about this being sent via email. We do have on the Xplor knowledge base full instructions for and a guide for the rich text editor, which I'll post in our chat so everyone can see that and just have a quick reference. I'll load that up. Please, if you have any other questions, let me know. Just don't be afraid to pop them in the Q&A if you need. No question is a silly question. Okay. Just going to put the link to our posts articles there in the chat, but it looks like we don't have any further questions. So you'll see these articles pop up in the chat, but we'll leave it there for today. Thanks everyone for coming along. Hope you have a heap of fun with it. Go create some really nice looking posts and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks everybody. Take care.